If you like the video, please consider supporting James Corp on Patreon. Hello everyone! Hello and welcome to the one shot of the Troubleshooters. Is it the Mino Effect? Mino Effect? I can't even pronounce the title. That's going well. Brilliant. I am James Corp. I'm the hostess with the mostess. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're watching on Twitch, do consider hitting that follow button. Most appreciated. Thank you. Faces you've seen, faces you haven't seen, faces you haven't seen for a while. Most people know each other or know of each other, and really looking forward to playing this action adventure, heavily French Belgium comic inspired game. So so we're going to go around the table, get people to introduce themselves and their characters, and that's really about it. Again, I'm James Corp, and I am playing Eloise Guand, I think is her name. I may have pronounced her last name wrong, and she's an inspiring student. I'm playing a 16-year-old girl. This is going to go well. I'm going to read the bits from a character sheet. It's in stars, so I have to morning. I'm Eloise, and since I'm 16, I don't have a job. I study at St. Catherine's School for Young Ladies, a Catholic boarding school outside of Paris. Hence the school uniform. I'm not actually in a school uniform. I can't fit into a school uniform. However, as it's been established, if I get enough money, I might be persuaded to wear a school uniform. I was put there by my mum so that she could date stupid men without me getting in the way. Dad disappeared some years ago, but they say that I got an affinity for electronics and science from him. The boarding school is really boring. They barely teach anything of that, but the groundskeeper at least allows me to use the stables as a workshop. Scott!
I am playing Sir Harold Fitzroy. You can call me Harry. Veteran of the North African and Italian wars with scars to prove it. Never wanting to settle down afterwards, I spend my time climbing mountains, sailing yachts, riding around, even spend some time as Electra's map breeder for a while until I got bored. It's true, I like to also hang out with the old boys and the ladies from time to time, and additionally take the occasional nip of whiskey if it's available, and if it's not available, beer, gin, schnapps, vodka, a glass or three of the red, or in worst case, even that horrible stuff that they make on the other side of the pond. But that's it. I'm Harry Fitzroy, intrepid explorer.
Thank you. And Potato Fishy, thank you for the 8-month subscription. Thank you, most appreciated.
We're gonna make sure we get you that uniform, James.
Oh yeah, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, right? I'm playing Paul Marchand, the cat burglar. So my professional career started in the French Maquis during the war. Those were exciting times. Stealing guns from the Germans, blowing up trains and bridges. It's a small miracle I got away. But I learned to do things out of sight of the authorities. I still put those skills to use. There are those that call me a French Robin Hood, and there is some truth to it. Some people call it stealing, smuggling, even larceny, but I never target innocent people or poor people, and I never allow the ordinary people to suffer from what I do.
Thank you. Pookie?
Good evening. I am playing Electra Ambrosia, racing driver. I'm Electra, professional rally driver for the ERF oil team. I'm one of the best in the field, good enough to compete with world-class drivers. And with a car like the Lancia, I'm among the best of the best. Being one of the very few girls in the sport makes me a lot more popular in the media, though. Nobody knows the top drivers of the other teams by name, and nobody can point them out in a crowd. But everyone knows who Electra Ambrosia is. And just a minute, before I go any further, the one reason why Harry quit was that he kept getting me lost after one too many nips at that hip flask.
Andrew.
Blame the flask.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I will be playing Annifrid Frida Backstrom, Captain Backstrom to you, Swedish Air Force. But to you as friends, please call me Frida. I'm an Air Force pilot, and before I was assigned as liaison to represent Sweden in the EEC and NATO, I used to fly the J-35 Draken Interceptor. The assignment has its ups and downs. I miss the flying, and the coffee here is a bit too weak for my taste. But sometimes missions can be really exciting. My superiors often complain I get involved in matters not related to my assignment, but I know some people who can make it an official secret mission in hindsight, if you catch my drift.
Cool. I like the Sean Connery vibe you were going there with.
Thanks. I imagine my accent is going to be scampering across the EU at various points during the evening.
And last but not least, the Director of Operations, Penny for a Towel.
Hello, I am Mitchell, and I work over at Helmgast, and we are super excited to show off this amazing game, The Troubleshooters, which is currently on Kickstarter right now, a homage to the 1970s European comics, such as Tintin, and we are going to have a lot of fun today. I already kind of, just by looking at everyone here, I think it's mostly the hat. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
Cool.
That hat has an energy of its own. I can't control it. So what it does, it does.
Working
It'll be
its way
here,
off your
it'll be
head.
gone.
Working its way off your head is what I think it's doing right now.
Where's your explorer's hat, James? I feel like that would be error appropriate.
Not really. Not when I'm playing as 16-year-old French student, not German student, not French, German.
Well, yes, I guess.
And I thought my accent was bad.
Yeah, you guys just have to deal with my American accent. It's just diet.
Right, what are we doing? What's going on? I don't know.
All right, so each of you guys kind of were able to look over your backstory and everything, and you did a wonderful job of kind of implementing aspects of their character, though I am sad that James did not indeed get the dress or school uniform, but maybe next time. Two of you guys are the main characters and have the special job of helping me herd all the cats. You're kind of the person who is dragging everyone along on this wild and crazy adventure. But for this, we're going to start in media res, in this crazy moment, which might be somewhat of a weird shift for everyone, but we're going to roll with it and see what happens. So, you guys are on a runaway vehicle, a Jeep, so to speak, going down the city streets of Athens. The wheel has been removed. The gas and brakes lines have been cut. And you guys are in this vehicle gaining speed towards the waters just off the coast. People are dodging crazily as you guys continue to go down the road. And you five are present within this vehicle. So we're going to kind of go to each one of you guys to see kind of what you guys are doing and what you're thinking during this kind of weird, horrific, adventurous moment that has begun your journey here in Greece. So who wants to go first?
Okay, well, Electra is behind what was once the wheel. Basically, she is pulling things apart to basically get at the steering to take back control. Once she's got back take back what she's got control again, she can steer. And basically trying to do that whilst everyone around her, in particular Sahari, is screaming.
Excellent. All right, who's next?
I'll go. So Harry is sitting next to Electra, kind of going over and just commenting on what she's doing, making sure that she is doing it correctly, even though I know nothing about what it is. And at the same time, as I'm bouncing, trying to take a sip from my flask, which is having a horrible time doing it, as it's splashing on anywhere except where it needs to go, and that's in my mouth.
Awesome. All right.
I'm
Who's the next
Eloise, so I'll go next. Eloise is a tech quiz. She's like really really smart. So what she's doing is she's in the back ripping up the seats or ripping up the carpet from underneath, and she's going to try and cut into the hull of the car or the body of the car to get underneath to access the brakes from down there. Like try and like pull the brakes manually with the car, to do it from underneath the car, if that makes any sense.
Makes complete sense. It's something I would do and have done in the past when I've been in this exact situation. Who else?
Well, Frida is sitting in the back, fairly calm. I mean, she's as part of her training for parachuting out of jet fighters. She's leapt from things like this before, but it would be unseemly and dishonourable to leave before we've got this car under control and ensure that it does not harm any passers-by. So she's waiting fairly calmly for Electra to basically sort things out.
Excellent. I think that was No, we have one more, right?
Right.
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I, Paul Marchand, am calmly sticking my head out the window, looking back at what has put us in this predicament, that we're being chased, or at least put in some sort of predicament where we're going down this hill, barrel neck, at 3 out of 4 wheels or whatever I've been told it is. All I know is I want to make sure that whatever's behind us doesn't catch up. So I'm keeping an eye out with my binoculars and, trying to spot if we are being followed and by what.
All right, cool. So we'll kind of work backwards from that. So Paul, why don't you give me a search test? And the rule set is pretty easy. It's a percentile system where you're trying to hit that target or below being a success. Yeah, so your search is 65%.
Ignore me. I click.
That's an unusually good start.
Oh, wow, a 100. That's
Yeah, I know. I'm just blowing all my luck right now.
Yeah.
It's a rollover system, right?
You know what? It rolls over so much it kind of wraps around to look like a roll under system. Unfortunately. So yeah, as you kind of pop out your head, unbeknownst to you is that there is a lovely cake individual kind of going down the street, delivering some cakes to someone who is probably most excited. And as you poke out your head, you get a face full of...
Is it a wedding cake?
Yes, it's a giant wedding
yes,
cake.
it is a wedding cake. And what flavor is it, Pookie, since you already decided it's a wedding cake?
Oh, if it's a wedding cake standard, it's fruit with a lot of alcohol in it.
All right, Paul, you have this face full of alcoholic strawberry cake. And kind of as you guys go down the street, you hear someone kind of start crying. The yells of months of work thrown, dashed away because some individual stuck their head out of a moving vehicle. But how about Eloise? You're trying to get underneath the car.
Yeah, I am.
So why don't you give me... unless you can see anything else on there that you'd like to use.
I've got engineering.
Engineering sounds perfect. And what we'll do, because of the craziness of the situation, we're going to give you -2 pip. And that's kind of how the Troubleshooters does its difficulty. Basically, it says if you get a 1 or a 2 on your ones, you automatically fail no matter where you roll. So even if you would roll under your normal stat and you'd be successful, but you roll a 1 for your final product, you would fail. So -2 Pip. Let's see what you got.
Can I help? I'm fairly skilled in vehicles. Can I give her a hand?
Ooh, let's see. I will say what you can do is you can spend your action helping, and you can give Eloise one of your story points. And story points can be used to re-roll the dice.
How many story points do we start with, by the way?
Everyone gets 4 story points starting out with.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Just tell me what to do.
So what does story points? So how do story points do? What do they do?
Yeah, so everyone has a special ability that uses their story points that is unique to the character. Furthermore, you can use it to re-roll a die, add something in the scene, etc. It's just kind of the way of you guys implementing different things.
So can I? Because I got a 50 where I needed a 45. So I'm like 5 out. So could I spend the story point to re-roll?
So actually, you can, and you can use it from Frida, who is helping you. So you basically take her story point.
So I'm lifting up the carpet and I'm going like, hold this.
Yeah.
And and then I'm pulling out like some sort of little hacks, little like my tool from my little tool. I've got an electronic toolkit, but maybe they've got like a little saw that's used to like cut holes in stuff.
All right, so why don't you give me that reroll and let's see if this works, or you're just gonna get another cake in the face.
24.
There we go. All right, so
We've
you
won!
are
Yes!
you did it.
Yes!
You start cutting open, and you can kind of see several of the wires and stuff. This has definitely been manipulated in some way. And as you cut open the bottom of the car, stretching out the carpet and such, you see a screen, something that is definitely not something you normally see during this time. But there is a screen, and on the image kind of has that
TV
black
screen.
and white, like a TV screen.
Right.
Yeah. Has that black and white fuzziness, and then on the other side, in very shaky cam look, you see a young woman with white hair and blue eyes, laughing at you maniacally over and over again. But just beyond her, you see the mechanisms that can apply the brakes. But sadly, you can't really dictate a nice, soft brake. It's either on all the way or off. And that maniacal young woman continues to laugh.
Is it still my turn, or is someone else acting?
We'll go with someone else just to kind of give someone else. So Pookie.
Well, who was Scott was next?
Scott. All right, Scott, go ahead. Bum, bum, ba-da-da-da-da.
Sorry, having to silence those around me. But
Cool.
so I've seen Eloise rip open, and she's down there, halfway down in there, and and I'm still commenting on what on what Electra, you're I don't think you're doing that correctly. This is not. I mean, I was in a situation just like this, in the African War, and you need to be turning this way and doing that, and just overly dictating everything, and bearing down on that. But do I hear this maniacal laughter coming from below too, or is that something that just
you do?
Okay.
It seems to be coming from like the vents. So actually everyone can, if they're kind of paying attention, can hear it. Though obviously your attention might be diverted elsewhere.
So considering that I've been everywhere, could I spend a point to see if I recognize that woman's laughter, or if I've heard it before?
Ooh. Yes, you can.
Okay.
For this one, I am going to say it'll because what's the normal story point cost for this?
This one is going to be, it's 1, but I mean, if you feel it warrants a higher cost value.
Yes, I will say, since you are trying to know a little bit more about what most likely be the main villain, you spend 2 story points.
Okay, but it's just, that laughter sounds familiar. What's going on down there?
And as you think back, you recall in the war a very similar laughter after your squadron was almost taken out. It was a horrific moment and one that you probably drink concerning to forget. But that laughter never will leave your mind. That maniacal, and it hasn't aged a bit.
Right. So yeah. So that will shake me enough to maybe steady a little bit and take. If I can, on my turn, take another drink of my flask. But yeah, I think that's what I'll be doing for this turn. So
perfect.
Okay. And basically, I'll be going. So Harry, stop wittering. Stick to the flask. I've got this. Of course, I'm utterly overconfident. As basically at this point, I am driving blind because essentially I'm having to get under to the steering column, okay, and not look where I'm going.
All right, so why don't you give me a vehicles test? Because of the blind state of this epic driving, we're gonna say -3 pips for this.
Okay, well, I've already got -2 for the overconfident.
Ooh, so a total of -5.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and because you used overconfidence, you get story points back.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, every time you use your complication, it will tell you how much story points you get.
Okay, so percentile dice, 75% chance. Here we go, folks.
Oh, you gain story points for doing your complication.
Mm-hmm.
What time of day is it, by the way? What year is it?
Say again.
Make it
Okay.
a face.
What year is it? What time of day is it?
I have failed on that roll. Okay, but I can spend 2 story points to reroll any task I make to handle a vehicle.
All right, go ahead and roll it.
Yeah, so I'm going to reroll it again. Okay, that would make the standard roll. So what I'm going to do, spend another story point and flip it so it's 17. So literally,
There we go.
I got 3 story points back for doing that, but blew them all on this task. And I basically, essentially, it's a case of we're barreling down the street, and so Harry cries out, "Sharp right, sharp right!" At which point I pull sharp left because I know what he's like, and I go, "See, I got this."
Perfect. And everyone kind of has to brace themselves as the vehicle almost gets onto the 2 wheels only for a brief stint.
Or
as
one
it
wheel,
turns
depending
the
on
corner.
what side the tire's missing on.
It's on the passenger side. It kind of leans in. All right. So, Paul, what are you up to?
Well, Paul's covered in cake, isn't he? Was that
Yeah.
what I? Yeah. So I'm back in the car trying to wipe this fruit and alcohol laden cake off of myself.
And the hopes and dreams. Wipe them off too.
Yeah.
And you find 2 like man and bride like stuck in your hair or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like poking out.
Picking like little mandarin oranges out of my hair and whatnot, and then taking I'm thinking and wondering if it says I can use my 6th sense to note something important about the scene. I want to know who that voice is. Can I spend 2 story points?
I will say you can spend 2 poor story points. I will give you something, but it will not be who that is.
Okay.
So it's up to you
Or-
whether or not you still want to spend it. It will be helpful.
I'll spend it. I'd like to know something important about the scene, whether or not I can control what it is.
Excellent. So as you're looking down at your companions who are messing around with this mechanism, you see this young woman laughing on the other side of the screen. You notice that there's antenna, small ones attached to the side of this screen. So this, what you know of technology and what you've seen before, must be something that is being connected at least within this city. So this isn't a pre-recorded message. This is live, and this person is close. So that is what you know.
Are you mentioning this?
Where are you, madame?
There.
Oh, you will never find me. Your days are numbered.
Well, I'm delighted to say that Frida has with her a shortwave radio, and I believe that my young tech whiz friend may be able to try and track down the source of this radio and maybe even manipulate it. So I'm going to pass her the shortwave radio and say, I will engage her in conversation. If you perhaps see if you can track where this is coming from, and even better, see if you can identify the signal to apply the brakes. Young lady, I am Captain Backstrom, but you can call me Frida. You have it as a disadvantage. Perhaps you could apply the brakes and we could talk about this like civilized people.
Civilization is for people who believe the lie of humanity. Humanity could never be civilized. It's best kept in cages, controlled. Frida, we know of you, and we know who you represent. And we would like you to know we are watching. And with that, the screen kind of clicks out, and you see this image of the octopus with its spindly little legs and arms.
Can I?
Of course, it's an octopus.
When he's
Always
getting
an octopus.
when he's getting to monologue, when she's getting the woman to monologue, can I be jury rigging the radio that was handed to me?
Yes, you can. Go ahead and give me an electronics test.
Oh, okay. 65. The reason why I was asking what time of day it was, because then I could bring in Sleepy, but, you know.
Oh, yeah. This time of day is kind of early morning.
Oh, then I am sleepy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to spend... Can I use my complication Sleepy then? Because it's morning. I'm like... No, I'm not going to spend it because I'm not acting sleepy right now. I'm trying to save our lives.
Yeah, that'd be like for endurance, alertness, and stuff like that. So what'd you get for your electronics test?
I haven't tested yet.
Let's see it.
I'm obviously keeping her talking while this is happening.
I know.
But just another minute.
I've got an ability.
Perhaps
I've just got an ability called Mad Inventor, and I'm just quickly reading it. Okay, sure, I'll give it a roll.
I think she's gone. That's just an octopus
18
now.
I've got an 18.
18. All right, that is successful. And another question I had for you, Eloise, is: are you applying the brakes, or are you just going to keep on going?
Well, that's what I'm doing with the radios. I'm making it so that I can control the car from the radio. That was the two things I wanted to do: track the signal and interfere with it so the car can stop.
and we were talking for hours. I mean, we obviously just did the highlights, but we had a lot to talk about.
You did.
Yeah, it kind of like
invite them round for tea.
Yeah. Did you exchange cake recipes?
Oh, we were discussing a wide variety of interesting philosophies of modern terrorism.
Yeah, and favorite coffee,
absolutely,
etc.
But we cut it because this is an exciting adventure.
Exactly. And because it is an exciting adventure, as you go down, those who can still look around notice the car is headed towards, we'll say, a individual who is bringing several bouquets of flowers, assumingly for the same wedding. It has that white, beautiful like look to it. You even see it's kind of done in a style with the two, the bride and the groom on top of it, as well as a picture saying "Best day of our lives." And this man is kind of just whistling down the road, pushing this cart, enjoying a lovely day. When this vehicle comes flying towards him, but at the last second, it kind of stops. The car kind of moving forward a little bit, and it taps the cart, and the guy's like holding on to it, like.
Wow.
I was hoping the bouquet was going to fly into the air.
At least it's not a cart of cabbages, because then they would have been destroyed.
Yes, it is not a cart of cabbages. We did that last time. So I'm going to leave cabbages alone for today. Today will be about weddings.
Fine. So no pane of glass.
Hey, not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Someone's been reading the scenario. You know, come on.
Oh, we also need a big pile of boxes so somebody can swing into it and shout, "Mark it!"
Exactly. But all these to come, as you guys are now safe and sound, at least for the time being. And Eloise, as you kind of monitor this contraption, we'll say you're able to kind of connect it to one of your mechanisms that has this little red antenna that starts beeping towards the direction from where the signal came from.
Well, I am getting out, dressing down my uniform, making sure it's properly presented and impeccable, and I'm saying, lead on. We must find this this mistress of mystery.
So, okay, so I'll get out, and I've got a Doctor Who scarf on. From what it appears, it's like a really long, Fourth Doctor type like scarf that goes on for about 20 million miles. So I'll flip it round me and go this way and point towards the general direction that we're going. And
this way?
Yes, that way.
Okay.
And I'll start not paying any attention to anything else, just focusing on the screen and the direction that we're tracking it.
Cool. I will give you a story point if you knock over the cart as you are blindly following this little mechanism.
Well, the day's already been ruined.
I was not aware that this stream was a tragedy.
I mean,
it's not a tragedy for you, just someone else.
I mean, let's be honest. The cake's been destroyed, so the day's pretty much ruined. So yeah, sure, I'll knock over the cart.
TW weddings, please.
Yeah. Just make the wedding worse, James.
Yeah. So you go
just for a story point, James.
You go running down the street.
How much destruction will you do for a story point, James?
Yeah. Go on then, James. Let's see. Are you going to ruin this couple's day even more for that story point?
Yeah, I am. I'm ruining their day for a story point. Yeah, I'll just I get out of the car and I'll just walk straight into it, and I don't know.
Yeah, and since you're on this hill, this incline, heading towards the water, this cart just starts teetering off and then gains speed as it goes.
I am spending a story point. I'm spending a story point to run down and hurl myself to try and stop it going into the nearby canal.
You don't have to spend a story point. All you need to do is make a test.
I will make a test.
So let's see what we could use. I will say alertness is very important.
Let's go with alertness, because if it's the moment I see it going, I think this looks like a job for, well,
Superman?
hopefully me.
Save the wedding.
08. That's it.
Perfect.
The best roll I'm going to make all night.
But basically, the thing is, you catch it with a jerk, and the flowers fly up.
And I catch it. 08, Pookie. 08. Put them all back in.
As I step out of the car, adjust my sunglasses and my elegant hat. Okay, the bouquet lands in my hands.
That costs a story point.
I'll allow it for a story point.
Yeah,
But
okay.
yes, Frida has saved the day with the final bouquet of flowers landing quite perfectly in Electra's hands as the man just kind of says, "Thank you so much."
I look over at Frida and say, "Well, I didn't know you cared."
Fair.
You've been dying for that, haven't you? You've been dying to say that.
Waiting for that one moment.
Okay, and I hand the flowers back to the poor flower seller.
Excellent.
Eloise is halfway
Right.
down the road now.
Right. Yeah, she didn't even notice. She just
No.
bumped into it, and set off, while everybody else is desperately trying to save it. So now I imagine, well, you know what we've been up to. What about the other two?
Mhm.
Well, I assume Harry thinks there's two Eloise walking down the road.
Well, I where are you off to, Eloise? What's got you going?
I'll spin around and go, the signal, we must follow the signal, and turn back to following the signal.
And I have a big dollop of the very alcohol filled remains of the cake that is still on Paul. And
Oh, definitely.
oh shit, cherry brandy, yes, quite good. And so I said, well, Eloise, wherever you're going, being the bushman that I am, allow me to assist and see if I can help you track down this. But my skills aren't as good in this city area, but I can make do.
All right. And Paul, what are you up to?
Well, I'm getting out of the car and proceeding to take off my nice jacket. And I turn to the captain, the Sir Harry Fitzroy Scott's character, and I believe there's some orange liqueur in there as well. Would you like to scour for your? This is disgusting, and I shake the coat off, and. I think we best catch up to them. The last time that Eloise got one of these gizmos going, she took off like a bat out of hell, and we spent half an afternoon just looking for her.
Agreed. We must be off, and say, yes, you're right, orange. So let's carry on.
Excellent. So you guys follow Eloise down the streets, and recalling why some of you guys are here, there have been some interesting going-ons in the Mediterranean concerning several artifacts, fake and real, that are being sold in the black market, which has led you to Athens. And the first rental car you all get into after driving it a couple of miles just comes apart at the seams. But at least you know, or at least have an inkling of who it might be.
Oh, I know exactly who it is. It's the Octopus. It's the organisation, the crime organisation that doesn't exist, but it does exist. We just saw their symbol on that television. I don't know how they fitted a tube television under a car, but that's beside the point.
I take it we're rushing down.
Yes, I need to prove that they exist, Frida. People say I'm crazy for thinking it, but it's true. They are behind every bad thing that goes on.
What's the French 60s cartoon equivalent of watching YouTube all day?
Reading a book?
I worry a little, Eloise, that this is some of the more colourful magazines you've been reading. But nevertheless,
just because
there's certainly some bad work ahead.
Just because I like Tintin doesn't mean I'm being crazy.
Well, it certainly wasn't a magazine that sabotaged our car. So let's go.
All right. So for Eloise, why don't you give me another electronics test at a -2 pip? See if you can trace where this is going.
So if I get a 1 or 2 on the unit die, then I fail the roll,
Mhm.
yeah? And obviously, I got 33, so nearly failed, but didn't.
Woo! All right. So it leads you kind of winding down the streets towards this doorway, stairs leading down in a kind of on the bottom of one of the row homes. The door is disheveled, peeling paint, sunlight doesn't even touch it since it's so far down. But coming from the holes in this door wastes kind of smoke.
I'm gonna
Does
be.
it look falsely decrepit in a way? Almost like it's still in use?
Yes. Almost kind of like how Disney does their old castles.
Are there windows on the first floor?
There are indeed. You find.
If
hang
only
on,
someone could get up there.
Hang on, what do you mean by first floor? Do you mean the American first floor, or do you mean the European first floor?
This is set in Europe, James.
Okay, right, fair enough. That is a good point.
And he said yes. If he misunderstood me, no takebacks.
Yes,
Yeah.
no takebacks. Just go with it.
So, if only there was someone skilled in second story work. But damn these high
So-
heels.
The question is, does it have 2 stories?
It has several stories.
Oh,
It
fair
kind
enough
of
then.
reaches up into the sky with about 4 stories. As we are telling this story.
Nice.
It's-
Are there
This-
any handholds along the sides or anything, or is it a fairly sheer?
Because of the makeup of the household, which is kind of like the stonework, you can kind of get your fingers in between several of the stones and try to climb. But of course, this might be dangerous depending on what sort of individual you are.
What do you think, Paul?
Take those heels off and give me a boost.
Okay, that is not a problem. I have strength. Shall I make a strength check to see if I can give him a
You don't
boost?
have to make a check to lift Paul up. He's fine. But for Paul, why don't you roll a security test? I feel like this falls in lines with breaking and entering.
Okay. And of course, I've closed the dice roller now, so that's fantastic. There we go.
But cracking it open,
Okay, so my security is 75, and that's a 78, so that's not good.
Hmm.
You're not having much luck with rolls, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not good with rolls. The Roll20 doesn't like me. You know this.
Yeah, that
Maybe
is...
you're role playing a not very good cat burglar. Brilliantly.
Yes, exactly.
The best.
I could
Sorry.
spend a story point still. I have 2 of them still to re-roll.
Could I help him in any? Could I help Paul in any way? Like maybe hand him some sort of piece of technology to help that will get.
Pass us that scarf. We can loop it round the gutter up there.
Okay, yeah, I'll
That'll
do that.
work. Why don't you give me a science test, Eloise? Science.
because
Yeah,
he's
okay.
trying to be a cat burglar, not a
Alright.
crap burglar.
I rolled a 12.
Very close to actually not falling. So
Yeah, so your cat burglar goes up a few, and you notice his the way he's gripping doesn't seem like it's gonna last very long, just as he's coming up on the window. But fortunately, Eloise is able, with her scarf and maybe some bit of technology that sticks to the side of the row home, throw it forward, and it also wraps around Paul before he comes plummeting down to what you guys will most likely think would be a knockout.
Wow.
Because heroes don't die.
Well, we're going to be testing that, I think. Yeah.
So I'm knocked out. I fell and I'm not.
No,
No,
you
you're
weren't.
fine.
You were saved by Eloise.
Oh, I'm saved from a knockout. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of like the scarf is wrapped around you, and the other
Yeah.
end has gum on it that kind of sticks to the side of the household.
So
Okay.
that's what you get with an 8-month sub. You know, you get looked after.
Exactly.
So the walls are unclimbable. But did you say something about smoke coming out of the door? That sounds like. Is it burning? Is it Gaulois?
It smells like tobacco.
It is France. It's Gaulois, obviously. There.
This is Greece.
Is it Greece?
Yeah, Greece.
We're in
I'm-
Athens.
I'm literally the worst role player.
No, that's fine. You're probably like, I bought tickets to France. I don't know why I'm here.
You know. Yeah. We got 3 Americans, and I'm the one who can't tell the difference between the different countries in Europe.
Well, it's fine. It's the perfect Brexit role-playing game.
Done and
Somebody
done.
kick that door down really fast. So Harry, surely this is
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, this smells like some sort of tobacco. It's not like burning, right? But it's
Yeah.
streaming out.
Is it
Uh,
so? Because I'm obviously Eloise isn't a pipe connoisseur, but Harry is. Would he know if it's pipe smoke, cigarette smoke, or cigars? Because there is a distinct difference between those sort of the different tobacco types of things.
Yeah.
because that's key right now. Because if that's pipe smoke, we're not going in.
Harry, you can indeed recognize this as pipe smoke.
Oh no!
all right. My brand.
A little less fancy.
Right. Okay. So
Basically,
but-
2 nuns instead of 3 nuns.
so but Paul is safe, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Kick it, or there's no reason to resort to that. I'll give a prestigious knock. Just
All right. You see a pair of eyes, really just one eye, look at you through one of the kind of slivers, a hole in this wooden fake door. And he says, "Password."
and Harold Fitzroy, Knight Commander of the Most Honorable Order of Bath, at your service. I apologize, but I may be mistaken. I don't recall there needing a password to walk in.
There's always been a password. So spill it.
Right. So, octopus.
All right, come in.
Ah.
And the door opens up, revealing a bar with the octopus motif, this kind of wooden octopus right above the bar. There are several older people. All of them look like sailors, and they all kind of look up at you. Some of them sporting eye patches with these pipes, and kind of some of the smoke starts leaving. They all just go, "Ah."
And it's a bar, though.
Mhm.
Right. So look back and say, well, gents, I think it's what is it, 9 a.m.?
Yeah.
It's time for my mid-morning aperitif. So if you'll excuse me, and I'll mosey over to the bar and take a drink, or whatever it is they're serving.
Excellent. All right, you move forward.
I'm gonna hand Frida the scanner thing, because as I go to enter in, I'm not allowed in the building at all because I'm only 16.
Wow!
I get complication underage.
Wow!
I
Alright,
like
so you
how
go-
Octopus obeys the local
Oh yeah!
drinking laws.
Yeah.
I mean, there's world domination, and then there's responsible drinking.
There's civil responsibility.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
gotta.
I do have a question, Mitch. When I go up to the bar, can I utilize the ability to take the intoxication condition to gain 3 points?
Yes, as
Okay.
long as it affects you this scene, and it will.
Great.
So
Dude,
it says
I was gonna ask if I could use bad reputation because
that will help.
I could
That will help you in this
regain
sort-
6 story points
That will help you in
by
this
just
scene,
getting
though.
thrown out of the bar immediately, pretty much.
Yeah, you can if you want.
Hey. Yeah, but
Are you
only if
gonna
you
do
tell
that?
us why. Why have you got a bad reputation? Who spots you, man?
I walk in and I settle up to the bar and look around, and all the sailors are probably giving us kind of the stink eye, I'd imagine. Not just because I imagine it's not just sailors, right? Like it's probably other like octopus henchmen people and whatnot. And I look around and I'm like, hello, gents. And I make kind of like a face at them. And I'm like, how are you all doing this evening?
And they all kind of look at each other, and one person says, "That man owes me money." Another one says, "Me too," and me. And it just kind of goes down the line as everyone realizes that you owe everyone here money. And we kind of comedically move to watching you being unceremoniously kind of lifted and thrown out of the bar onto the sidewalk.
Can we have it
at
so
that
that they
point-
basically take like they're like if I owe everyone in this bar and I'm getting thrown out there, I'm gonna have like underpants on when I'm
Oh,
thrown
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Like, I'm just like in my white boxers, face down in the mud in that like pose where you get
Yeah.
thrown out of a bar.
Wow. Fan service
And-
for the watchers there, Fishy.
Yeah.
And as he's thrown out, I will wander in as if I basically have been here before, walk up straight to the bar. I'm going to spend a story point and say, hello, Bibiana, how are you? And that's the butler lady behind the bar.
Excellent. I love it. The butler lady, who has this kind of short blonde hair and blue eyes, looks at you with a knowing nod. What can I do you for?
I think we'll have drinks all round, apart from the one who's been thrown out. And could you take something out suitable for a 16-year-old who's not allowed in?
I will have coffee. It is the morning. I do not drink on duty.
You're on duty.
I am always on duty. I am a pilot in the Swedish Air Force. I never know when I'll be forced to take the helm of a fighter jet.
Yeah, and with that, several of the people in the bar look at you, and one in particular, a very large man with long brown wavy hair, kind of comes towards you from behind. He's easily 6 feet tall. His top of his head kind of bumps into the chandelier, which is really just kind of like steel and candles upon it. And you feel him kind of breathing on the back of your head.
This looks like obviously I would like to deal with this gentleman as he deserves, but I have no desire to cause a ruckus that may reflect poorly upon Sweden.
Did you say
I,
you're part of the Swedish Air Force?
I am Captain Backstrom at your service. Are you a military gentleman?
He kind of looks around and then looks at the bartender. This man, his drinks are on me. And there's kind of like a cheer as everyone like kind of raises their glass towards Frida.
Well, I thank them. I say I am only doing my duty, but I am grateful for your respect. I raise my coffee to them.
And Harry raises 2 drinks at this point in time.
Yeah.
Frida!
We need to move on, otherwise, poor Harry is not going to be
Harry's
moving
drinking for me, who's been thrown out.
on. So, well, while we are here, now, is there any obvious door going to a mysterious back area? Perhaps some stairs going up?
Well,
There is. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to talk to Bibiana, barkeeper, and say to her, well, fancy you ending up in a place like this.
Oh, well, work is hard, and if you hardly work, you get no money. And I'm always chasing that dream of one day owning my own tavern, that is.
And do you own this, or would it perhaps be someone else?
Someone else. Why are you inquiring, Electra?
And would that someone else have many fingers or tentacles, should I say, in many pies?
She kind of leans forward. You're asking dangerous questions, Electra. When did you get involved in such things?
When they had sabotaged our hire vehicle upon arriving in the fair city of Athens.
That's fair. I know how you like your vehicles. This place is sort of a front, but you didn't hear that from me, okay? They exchange old artifacts and paintings and such after hours. It was like a market.
Then perhaps we might be late back. We will probably have to come back after hours.
We should probably have to call the police.
I doubt you'll let us in for the lock-in, but I'm sure we'll have a way of circumventing that.
Yeah, I'm not even allowed in.
And this time, I hope he won't be thrown out.
Hopefully.
So
she places a bottle of whiskey before you.
Oh, thank you so much. Bit early in the day for me, but I'm sure Sir Good the
Don't give it to Harry. Don't give it to Harry. Don't give it to Harry.
We'll take a bottle of ouzo.
But what we're going to do is we're going to get a stick and dangle the whiskey in front of him.
Did you say ouzo? There was a trick that I learned in Egypt. That you can light it on fire and drink it at the same time. So yes, 2 ouzos.
Yeah.
Right away.
All
I
right.
look forward to seeing the knockout rules. Here we go.
And here is a glass of milk, of course, for the little one.
Milk.
What were you expecting? It'll help you grow. Well, big and strong.
A Coke or a Pepsi?
There. That will rot your teeth, young lady. Have some milk, grow up big and strong, and you could join the Air Force.
Or race cars.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
Or
milk
be an
cars.
alcoholic.
So many options. Yeah. So, well, I presume we've gone back to a table sort of slightly away from prying ears. Electra, what on earth is going on?
This place is a front for a shadowy organization, which after hours exchanges artifacts, paintings, and the like. And I think it's our next stop this evening. After hours.
Surely our next stop is to inform the proper authorities. This sounds illegal.
My dear captain, of course it's illegal. But if we don't do something about it, the Athens police won't get around to do anything about it until next week.
You're saying the Athens police are unreliable? Perhaps shifty?
No, I'm saying the Athens police are particularly reliable when they get around to it.
Ah, they are busy. Okay. So
Yes.
what is the plan, Electra?
Well,
If only we could get someone to pretend to be dead drunk. So he just slumped it. Oh, who could we get? No, I've got nothing here.
Yeah, does chat have any ideas about who? I mean, we really got to brainstorm here.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that our dear Monsieur Mochard will probably have a better luck getting inside and staying inside after hours than he has this morning.
What you mean? He sneaks in, so hides himself, and then lets us in later.
Something like that.
And you do notice that there are several large wooden barrels, most likely filled with alcohol.
We'll need one of those. We'll need one of those emptied. I wonder
How
who
can
could
we
do
empty
that.
it? All these great plans, they're just falling apart.
And I'm like, so you put your hand on it, and the flame goes out. And then you
He's still doing his
pull it
thing,
back
so.
right away. All right, everyone, you do it. You do it. You do it. Then we'll do some Italian war songs after that.
That's
I love Harry making friends with the entire bar at the.
Yeah, because he's petting the other sailors.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Harry outdrinks them all.
There. So, well, is that our plan then?
Yes.
Paul, what do you think? Is there a?
Paul's
Can you
outside
secrete
with me.
yourself?
You're coming outside to find me because I'm thrown outside.
Oh, you're thrown out. Oh,
Yeah.
of course we
Yes.
are. Of course we are.
I can imagine you're sat outside, basically on the ground in your boxer shorts and shoes.
Yeah, I've sat outside. At first, I probably surveyed the area to see if, some drunk had forgotten their coat or anything to just as long as it's not too disgusting. If it's too disgusting, that's below me. I'm not going to throw some sort of vomit-covered coat on myself.
Yeah, why don't you
But-
give me a charm test at -2 pip?
Okay.
Let's see what people think of you.
How did the pip work again?
So if your ones is a 1 or a 2, you automatically fail no matter what.
Okay. Well, it's a 2.
Yeah, so normally you would be very successful, but because of the difficulty, you are not.
Hang
So
on.
No, is it the tens that's a
not
1
the-
or 2 means you
The
failed? Or
ones.
the ones.
yeah,
The units.
It's the
25.
ones? Oh, so then
The
25
units.
would be 5.
25.
Mhm,
Okay,
yeah, 25 would
is
be
fine
a
then.
-5 pip would mess it up.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry.
It's cool.
Mixed it up.
So yeah, as you're out, because we always believe in failing forward in this case, you do get some clothes, but why don't you let me know why they suck?
Why they suck?
Yeah.
Well-
I've got an idea. Can I?
No.
Oh.
Well, I mean, clearly they are mass market pedestrian clothes. I mean, some poor hobo was given these by some just middle manager, and they threw them aside, and middle class person, I mean, and it's just, look, they've got minor holes in them and such. It's quite below me.
You might even have a scarf from the Athens equivalent to Abercrombie and Finch, just kind of like that horrific
Yeah,
perfume attached to it.
but it's all it's ratted and kind of come apart because it wasn't really that great to begin with, but it lasted for a little while and it was tossed out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It looks like Electra is being attacked by a cat.
Or an octopus. A
Yeah.
furry octopus.
Well, her name is Kittler.
Well, well, I think you'll find the stream's just been cut off in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There. Right.
You guys doing?
So, well, okay. Now he's got some clothes. What can we do with him? How can
Well-
we get him into position? Paul.